My name is Michael Molls. By my academic and professional education, I'm a radiation biologist and a physician specialized in the field of radiation oncology. Before becoming an emeritus at this university, I have been the director of the Clinic for Radiation Oncology and the University Clinicum of our university, namely the Klinikum rechts der Isar. And let me mention, maybe very briefly, because you have been mentioning neuroengineering. I think that in the field of medicine, the research outside from biology, I'm coming from biology, radiation biology, outside from biology is very, very, very important. When I was a young doctor, we didn't have computer tomography, we didn't have positron emission tomography, we didn't have magnetic resonance tomography, we just had the old-fashioned X-ray devices. And even the modern possibilities using ultrasounds, by ultrasound, for example, measuring in the patient blood flow, etc., that was not available when I was a young doctor. So I think, and for example, also robotic surgery was, even the term robotic surgery was not known at that time. And when you're looking onto cardiology, what they are doing with stenting, with catheter technologies, etc., etc., all that was not available. What I want to say here is that by the, how can I say, the skills of mathematics, informatics, physics, but especially also engineering, we had many, many advances in the field of medicine which are useful for our patients in the different fields, not only in the field of oncology, in my field. Now, as an emeritus, I became the speaker of the Senior Excellence Faculty. Maybe I'm mentioning here also just now, we have our newest book produced by the Senior Excellence Faculty of our university. The title of the book is, and you find that on the homepage of the Senior Excellence Faculty in a PDF file, and the book will come out during the next 2 weeks also in a paper version. And the book is entitled Novel Nuclear Technologies, and it is focusing on fission, on fusion, but also on applications of novel nuclear technologies with the field of hydrogen, etc., etc. So it's a very interesting book, and maybe a book which in Germany is seen also a little bit provocative, because you know that the Germans, they are mainly engaged in the field of alternative energies, and this book is arguing for to have maybe in the future about 20% of our energy production on the basis of nuclear novel energies. For example, to have a stable providing of energies and not breakdowns which are linked with the alternative energies. And okay. Now I'm coming to my true welcome. I have already spent too much time, obviously, but you forgive me, hopefully. Stefania asked me to mention also a little bit that our Institute for Advanced Study has an international atmosphere, has to be seen behind or on the basis of an international background, and that has to do with especially the Hans Fischer Fellowship, which is a fellowship devoted to given fellowship for 3 years, given to international scientists, and that fellowship is given for juniors, but also for senior researchers. We have really very famous professors at our institute coming, for example, from Stanford, MIT, Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, the Scandinavian universities, Italian universities, coming from engineering, from all the fields which are covering the interdisciplinarity of our university. And you can figure out that it's a great pleasure to stay in a continuous contact with such people. But these professors are linked with host professors at our university in the different fields I mentioned already, or could say in the different schools we have. And they have within the fellowship the financing of a PhD student, and they are free from all the administrative duties, they are free from teaching duties. They can go deeply into the research in this connection with a professor from our university. And all the other fellowships are also very interesting fellowships. And I would like to mention here that I was able to get money also for the fellowship of a philosopher in residence. And the philosopher in residence of our first round is Professor Giuntini from Italy, from University of Cagliari. So welcome, Roberto. I'm happy to see you again. And what I learned that when looking onto philosophy, that in modern philosophy we are coming back, if I can say so, to the old times, the Greek times, because the beginning of philosophy, as far as I'm understanding philosophy, is the coming together of the deep thinking in philosophy with natural sciences, physics, mathematics, biology, etc. I think that Aristotle is standing for this connection between natural sciences and philosophy. And I learned that especially in Italy, Stefania and Roberto, there are schools at the University of Firenze in which there is a tradition that these different disciplines are coming together. And I learned that Roberto and Stefania, they are really familiar also with mathematical formulas, and I'm always astonished when seeing that. So I'm happy that we have also this fellowship line now, because I think it's really important to bring together these different disciplines of philosophy and natural sciences, let me say, and also engineering. The newest philosopher in residence is a younger colleague, a lady, a philosopher from Germany, and she will do philosophy during the fellowship time with one of our highly renowned professors in the field of mechanical engineering and designing of robotics, etc., etc. Okay, I'm not mentioning now all the other fellowship lines, but you see that mainly these fellows are coming from the global world, and that means from all the continents, even also Australia. I mentioned already that via the fellows we are standing in good contact with all the different schools of the university, namely the TUM School of Computation, Information and Technology with 21 fellows, with the TUM School of Engineering and Design, 18 fellows, but also with especially TUM School of Natural Sciences, 22 fellows, and my school, former school, School of Medicine and Health, 20 fellows. And you see that the lower number of fellows is linked with the two other schools, namely the TUM School of Management and the TUM School of Social Sciences and Technology. And recently, we could celebrate 20 years of our institute. The institute was an outcome of the first round of the Excellency Initiative of the Federal Republic of Germany. It was a strategic project to establish an Institute for Advanced Study, and an Institute for Advanced Study at which, in contrast to most other institutes of advanced study in Germany, the contrast is that we are really linked with the field of, or the world of natural sciences and engineering, etc. The other, or mostly the other institutes of advanced study in Germany are devoted to science, to social sciences, etc., etc. Sometimes I'm saying, or I'm making a difference between the soft sciences, social sciences, and hard sciences, natural sciences, and engineering. So our institute is in a certain way more standing for the hard sciences already, although we are standing in good contacts also with School of Social Sciences and Technology of Stefania. Now, I mentioned already 20 years of IAS, and this is summary of the output during the last 20 years. You see here more than 4,000 publications since 2008. And what is important to mention here, on the basis that we came into tighter contacts across the interdisciplinarity of our university with international scientists, we improved in the quality of publications. We have compared the average publication of our university with those publications which have generated by the cooperation with our international fellows. And you can see here that those publications generated with international fellows are 1.7 more often cited in the international literature than the average publication of our university. And that shows here that via internationalization, we have gained also in quality, in the scientific quality. And I think the fact that now in the international rankings, or in a few of the international rankings, we are the best university of the European Union, not only the best in Germany, but also in the European Union, has to do with this fact that we have improved also in the publication outcome via internationalization, via Institute of Advanced Study. And we were also able to get money for our fellowships. A part of the money is given by the state via the university itself. But you see here that we are also able to get money in the sense of third-party funding, getting money from industries, but also from science funding organizations. I mentioned already that I could get money from the TÜV Süd for the philosopher in residence. Very recently, we got also money from the Dieter Schwarz Foundation, and within the fellowship line of the Dieter Schwarz Foundation, we have one very special fellowship which is entitled Courageous Grant, so going into risk and maybe also lose everything, but maybe gaining everything in the sense of science and advantages in our techno societies. This fellowship is, for this fellowship, a courageous grant we get from the Dieter Schwarz Foundation, 1 million euro for a time period of 3 years. That is the highest, with regard to money, the highest ranked fellowship at our institute nowadays. When coming maybe to people, I would like to mention that amongst the fellows, the 266 fellows since 2008, 33% of the fellows are females, and during the last years, the fellowships are, when comparing between males and females, are on a level of 50-50%. By certain procedures, we were able also to hire excellent female researchers. For example, in this year, in the last round for the Hans Fischer Fellowships, we were able to hire 3 female professors in the field of chemistry, in the field of engineering, and in the field of informatics. All the 3 with an Hirsch factor. Maybe you know what is an Hirsch factor. Hirsch factor in the region of about 120, 130. 3 females, each of them 120. So really very excellent scientists. Okay. I mentioned already that we are standing in good contacts with our 7 TUM schools, but also with the new campus in Heilbronn, which is very interesting for those people at our university who are engaged in informatics and economy. Obviously, you're linked with this campus. And I would like to mention also, when coming to our output, that we were establishing here with our institute during the last years 9 so-called innovation networks. These 9 innovation networks per network are consisting in about 10 PIs, principal investigators. Every PI is getting the money for a PhD student. So these are really, one could say, medium-sized networks devoted to different topics in research. And for me, it was very important also to establish an innovation network which is devoted to engineering, especially in the field of neuros, because my feeling is that in the field of neurology and neurological diseases, you have not enough engineering scientists, and therefore I'm happy to welcome you again as a student in the field of neuroengineering. So we have established also one network in neurosciences entitled Neurotech, also in mental health. It's not only focusing on the true somatic neurological diseases, also focusing on psychological diseases, especially also on psychiatric diseases, and other innovation networks. So I think I stop here. I hope that I've given to you, in the sense, as you have wished, Stefania, short overview on the Institute, which is hopefully rather informative for you. If you're interested in details, please go onto our homepage and you will find there more details which are also interesting. So I wish you now a good week, an interesting week, an enlightening week, and thank you again to Stefania having organized this event here. Thank you.